welcome back to Octane Garage, where today we have an exciting video for you. We're going to fix the pull cord. We're back with more of the 225 DX. If you saw our last video, you know we picked this thing up for $450. And we just, last video we got it running. We did a carb clean and got it fired up. And it definitely rides different than our 200S because it has front and back shocks. It's pretty cool. Now, we are going to adjust this pull cord. We got to get this pull cord working. So it does have electric start, which is pretty cool, but we want to try and get this pull cord to go because we don't want to have to rely only on the electric start. Now, I did have to take some vice grips to these and just break them loose. They're a little bit stripped out where somebody else has worked on it before. They're not terrible. I've seen worse. I've had to deal with worse. But the first thing we had to do is get this thing opened up. You can see water dripping out of it right now. You can see the water there dripping right out of that cover. I'm going to guess that everything's just rusted up in there. If I have to guess, I'm going to say everything's probably just all rusty in there. So hopefully we can pull this out. Maybe some WD-40. Maybe it won't be a hard fix. That's what I'm trying to say. Maybe it won't be too hard. And once we get the pull cord working, we are going to address the back brakes. This thing has no brakes, no front or back brakes. So I'd prefer to have the back brakes working first. So we're going to start there. And then we got one more screw and she's about to come out here. If I can get it together here and get it out. Okay. It was missing a couple screws. It only had 4 in it, but that's okay. Oh boy, okay, I can see in here, if you look right there, you can see the spring's not in the proper place. So that is definitely one of the problems. This thing's all out of whack in here. So we're gonna have to reset that spring. So we'll have to get it ripped open and ripped apart and we'll see what's messing up on it. Okay, so I took the bolt off and then I took this off and to my surprise, we are missing parts. There's supposed to be a little lever here that flips out and catches the motor, and that's what makes the pull cord actually work. So the spring actually started working by itself. So now I have a dilemma. Do I dare pull this off the rest of the way and see if that part might have fell down in here? And it's going to make my spring, I'm going to have to rewind the spring if I do that. Do I want to chance that and try and rewind the spring and see if it happens to be down in there? I'm thinking someone's already been in here because those Phillips screws we talked about earlier that were stripped out a little bit. So I'm thinking we're going to have to, I don't know. I just don't know if I should rip the rest of that apart and see because there's probably nothing in there. What do you guys think? Fine, we'll check. Okay, we'll check. Fine, that's fine, we'll check. So here we go. There's no other way to do it. I mean, we could pull this out a little. No, that's going to tighten the spring. So there's no other way to do it than just pull it up. Let's take a look. Oh, the spring's still staying, so I don't see it. Maybe. Yeah, it's not in there. So can I actually get it back down there? Oh, maybe I can. Wait for it. Nope, the spring's sticking out the side over here. Okay, so let me just see if there's a way I can shove it down in there and get it back to where it needs to be with maybe a screwdriver or something. So hang on a second. All right, I got our spring back in. What we're going to do for now, we're just going to have to put it back together. All right, so we got it back in there. We're missing that little piece that's supposed to flip out and catch the motor. So we have our spring set. We're going to get that piece ordered. We're going to throw this back on. We're going to move on to the brakes. Okay, so we're just going to throw her back on for now. And we're going to rely on the electric start. Luckily, the electric start does work. So we'll be okay there. First thing we're going to do is get this tire out of our way so we can get to the brakes easier. We could probably work on it from behind, but I think it would be a pain. I already kind of got them loose. Now there's some washers in there too. So the best thing to do is just pull it off like this, let them fall, and find them later. Because otherwise you're going to be fumbling around, trying to figure them out. And It's just easier. There's the brake setup. Alright, I think the first thing we need to do is probably take this thing off. You can see how much slack we have in here. I think we need to adjust this probably back further. I don't know a lot about how these brakes work, so this is going to be real interesting. But I know this cable should be back into there. And we don't have any spring pulling this thing back, so we're going to have to check that out. So let's get this apart, and we'll see where that leads. I don't really know how these work, so I guess we're going to start by taking things apart and see what's going on. But my thought is, this thing is set wrong here, and I'm wondering if I can't just slide it off and reposition it and see what happens if we do that. Well, that's a long screw right there though. So let's see if we can slide this thing off. Oh no, see, it's just on a thing like this. So repositioning this is not going to be an option. So that just twists like that, and I guess it probably pushes that caliper in there. And it's supposed to make the brakes work. But man, we got nothing. Okay, so if we take this, we turn it, we got brakes. So something is out of adjustment. I'm just not sure what. And it may be having something to do with the screw. Maybe the screw pushes something in there. If you know, throw it down in the comments. Let me see if I can look in there. See if that screw does anything. You're gonna have to move the camera.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was thinking maybe the camera would be better.
I can't see through there.
It's just going straight to the pads. It's going probably through the pads.
I think our light's getting dimmer.
Through the pads.
So why is this? Let me see. If this is like this. It does not go forward enough to even go to there. So how do I make that go forward? Okay, so for us to fully understand how these work, I'm gonna have to take them all the way apart because I really don't know. I have no idea. I mean, I have an idea how they work because I have an idea how brakes work, but I don't know this particular system. I just know something in there goes in when you pull it forward and it makes the brakes work. So we're gonna see. For one, it's not springing back like I feel like it should spring back, and we got none of that. So let's get it apart and just see how the heck this sucker works. And I'm sure you guys want to see it too, because some of you that haven't seen this might wonder how it works. So if nothing else, we're going to see what's inside here. Now, I bet you we got a broken spring, or maybe missing parts. The last thing we took apart on this had missing parts. So look at that, double action. That's how you get things done, guys. So let's pull this off and just see what it's made of. Okay. So there's our stop. And oh, look at this. Is that an adjuster? Nope, that just spins. So what happens when this, basically this goes in, it hits the pad, pushes the pad against the disc. And that's how it works. So let's just see. Let's see if we got any pad left here, guys. Maybe it's just a matter of needing new brake pads. Oh no, there's a lot of pad on that, looks like to me. Do you see there? There's the end. I'd say we got good enough pads. So the pads are not the problem. And it just pushes against that other side. So how do we adjust this? That would be the question. That's all the way in. Could we turn this into a different spot? What if we put it this way? If we put it on this way, it's going to change the angle of this. Put it on this way, it's going to change the angle to there. Let's just see what happens if we had it that way. That would move this way back. Wow, it'd be totally sideways. Also like that. Still wouldn't give us enough. So what if we went this way? But why doesn't it spring back? What makes this spring back? Anybody knows what makes this spring back? Throw it down in the comments. Because that's the only part I'm not understanding. There's got to be some kind of spring that's supposed to be on here. Probably connecting to this. So we're going to look up a parts list and see if we're missing something. Oh, that's right. Okay, so let me show you what we figured out just from trial and error here. We haven't really looked up a parts list yet. But this thing goes through here and it will adjust and push this out, which will get it closer to the brake pad. So let me just show you. And you'll see this come out, and that's going to push our brake pad out, which should give us hopefully enough adjustment to get these brakes working. Then we're just going to have to figure out a spring to bring them back. See how it's coming out? As I move the nut, you can see this coming out. And what that does is that's going to push it closer to our brake pad. So hopefully there'll be enough adjustment there that we can get these brakes to work. So I'm going to throw this back together and we'll show you what happens. Okay guys, we got it figured out. We needed to take this nut way in, and that has got us brakes. So now when we pull our cord up there, see how it stopped me? The only thing we have now is it's not really releasing as good as we want. So I'm thinking we take a spring from this hole up to one of these or around this to spring it back so it'll release it. Is that how it's supposed to be? I don't know. Will it work? I believe so. So we're going to come up with a spring to go from here to here, from here to here, or here to here, something to pull this back that way. So when we pull it up, we have brakes, then it'll pull it back and it'll release them. So we're going to find a spring, we'll bring you guys back, show you what we got, then we're going to take it for a ride. So hang on. We got to head out to the pole barn real quick, find a spring and a cotter pin, and let me tell you, we're in Michigan, and it's cold out here. We got a little snow last night. Despite the cold though, we are still going to take that thing for a ride now that we got the brakes seem to be working, if we can get that spring to spring back. Now this golf cart right here is an upcoming project. Since we're right here, could talk about it for a minute. This has a 350X motor. No, 250SX motor, sorry. So this is going to be an upcoming project. So that gives you guys something to look forward to. Matter of fact, we might try to get that in the garage today, maybe. So let's see if we can't find a spring. Okay, so we're gonna grab us a cotter pin.
Maybe.
Maybe grab one extra, just so we can keep one up front. So we're gonna see if one of these springs might, oh boy, I don't know if these will have enough tension.
Oh no, they won't.
Oh, this might, feel it.
Shoot, double them up.
Grab a few of those. And we're gonna dig around too and see what else we can find. We have some other springs in this bag we're gonna take up there. Maybe we can get one of these to work. So hopefully something like that might work. Or also, I think I'll grab a carburetor return spring and maybe that'll help us out. All right, I got the spring on back here. Then I'm thinking I'm gonna go all the way over here because the spring doesn't have a lot of tension. But I think it'll be enough if I can get it over to here and magically get it to go around that thing. Like this. So I think if I can bend that out just enough, might be able to hook it right. Ooh, almost. Oh, it's a struggle, guys, let me tell you. I think we got it bent around enough now, though. Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to do anything at all. So let me pull those brakes. You guys watch this and let me know if it springs back or not. We may have to put more springs than just that little baby spring on it. Spin the wheel and, oh, here, let me spin the wheel and see. Okay, you guys ready? It's springing back. Oh, wait. I think we're going to try and put one more on it. I don't think it's bringing back quite enough, but I'll tell you what. I think it's close. And ideally, it'd be better if we had a better spring. But hey, sometimes you got to do it. You got to do what you got to do so you can go riding. So we're going to throw another spring on there, and then we're going to take you guys for a ride. Okay, so we got a spring on each side. I hooked one to each side. I don't know how it's supposed to be factory, but it seems to be working. So now it's the moment everybody's been waiting for. Let's put this wheel on. I guess that's not what you've been waiting for. We're going to get the wheel on, and we're going to go for a ride. That's what I'm trying to say. Guys, before we put this wheel back on, I just remembered one more thing I feel like we should do. Let's address this foot peg. How are we going to address that foot peg? How are we going to fix that? How are we going to bend that back, you might ask? It's going to be fun. I'm thinking something like this. This thing's heavy. It should do the job perfectly. Just give it a little tap, 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 and that will bring her home like brand new. First thing we gotta do is get these plastics out of our way. This thing's getting a little tired. She's got some miles on her, guys. But I do like the Waltz. They work good. I've had pretty good luck with them. I like the way they put a little bolt holder right there. Kind of nice. Then simple stuff. Take it like this, set it out of your way. Don't break them. The only ones we got. Now we find our big hammer and hope this works. Look at that, one-handed, guys.
No way.
Okay, now, who had their doubts? Anybody? No, you can pick one of these up at your local tractor supply store. So if you need your foot peg fixed, give me a call. I can do it. I can do it for a small fee. Small fee. Maybe like $500. Oh yeah, winter time. It's running pretty good, guys. Give those brakes a try. Well, they work, but they're hard to pull, and they could be better, I'll be honest. They don't work real well, but they will stop you. That's a good thing. Oh no, she stalled, guys. All right, I think Carter's gonna take it for a ride now. If you've watched this far, we really appreciate it. I think we might have to turn that idle up a little bit for winter. All right, be careful, our battery's about to die, so don't go too long. Well, what'd you think? What'd you think, Carter?
It was good. The brakes are not there yet.
Yeah, we're still gonna have to do some adjustment on those brakes. If you guys want to see some more videos on this, let us know in the comments. If not, we're gonna move on to something else. Probably that golf cart we showed a little bit earlier. If you watched this far, we really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, we'd appreciate it if you did. Thanks for watching, everybody.